Hello everyone, I'm back at home again this week. I was at a festival last weekend, which is why the films are a little bit different. And I must say it was a healing festival. It was the Drummond Healing Spirit Festival, and I do feel I've had some kind of healing. I feel rejuvenated and ready and totally in love with my garden, even though I'm feeling horribly overwhelmed by the amount of work. But it's just great to have that work to do. I'm really grateful and appreciative that I have that work. And so I'm out and about, just kind of touching base again with all the different areas of the garden and the different plants. And I'm going to have to make a list of all the jobs that I need to do, because there is a lot to do. And this year, we've had one of those on and off years because Lol's father was sick, so we're busy working. Then we had to go to England, or at least Lol was going very regularly. Then we had the funeral, and then his mother moved, and so there's been a lot of stuff going on and a lot of other work I've had to do, and the garden has been a little bit neglected. And with the heat and the rain, the growth has been exponential, as I think everybody is finding everywhere. So I took myself off to the healing festival, and I did yoga and Tai Chi and restorative dance. I did sound healing, heard some great music, met some amazingly wonderful people. Mark Brady was the drummer with one of the acts, Marcus McGee and the I don't know how you pronounce it, Hollow Men. So I'll put a link below to them. I met a lovely harpist who played at the opening and closing ceremonies, which were sacred rituals for the land. And I met other lovely people as well. A lovely lady selling herbal remedies, so that was nice. But the overall atmosphere was just so inspiring. People were there to be kind to one another. They were there to meet like-minded people. But the overall vibe was just kindness and peacefulness and getting on, and everybody enjoying the sacred space of the land that was the festival site. So it was incredibly beautiful. So here I am, raring to go into the work again. So there is so much to do now that I've had a little look around. I've brought out my notebook and pen, and I'm going to sit somewhere and just write down all the little jobs. To begin with, I'm collecting honeysuckle flowers because surprisingly enough, honeysuckle flowers are a wonderful remedy for any heat or inflammatory conditions or respiratory conditions. So during the winter, they make a lovely antiviral, antimicrobial, cough and cold and flu remedy, sore throats, anything where there's heat. So they will help reduce a fever, relieve a little bit of pain, like the headaches you might get when you have a flu. So very beneficial to have. And you can imagine from the delicious and the most divine scent from honeysuckle. They're beautiful infused in honey. So it's a way to get a really lovely medicine into children as well by infusing them in honey. And we have quite a lot of honey, surprisingly, that we need to spin out of the frames. So that'll be something we'll be talking about in another video. But for now, I'm going with the honeysuckle. So any kind of heated complaint. So for women going through the menopause and they're having hot flushes and night sweats, people with gout and arthritis where there might be heat in the joints, honeysuckle is your one. There's also a lot of blackberries yet to pick. They're so sweet and delicious. So I must write all this down in my notebook. Now this area has never really been used. We've had a hammock here for the last couple of summers, but between working and rain, it's not often that we were using it. So what we thought we would do here is just actually create a little lawn, because we don't have a lawn anywhere else. And it's not that we want a lawn per se, but we would like a grassy area to lie down on occasionally, because it's nice to be on the earth. Unfortunately, this summer, before we had time to turn around, it was seeded with volunteer kale. So I've taken down some of the kale now as we've started to harvest the last bits, but the roots have to be dug out. So that's a lot of work. I'll have to write it down. There are blackberries gone riot. They all need to be clipped back. Let's see. I'll sit here. Oh yes, tons more hawthorn berries. So in another week or two, my hawthorn tincture will be ready to strain out. And I'll show you how I'm making it, because I've got flowers and leaves from May, and I've got the berries that I've been collecting over the last month. So in another few weeks, it'll be ready to combine. So, yeah, I've loads of weeding to do in the herb garden. Lots of cutting back. See this tree? This big alder over here, it's spreading its branches over our little terrace where we like to sit and eat sometimes. So that needs to be clipped back. The willow needs to be controlled, otherwise we'll never get down there again. And lots of weeding, lots of harvesting of the veg over in the veg beds. And what else? Water butts to fix into place. So I might collect a few blackberries now, and I'll bring those hawthorn flowers in. And so I'm still on a bit of a high from the festival, after meeting all those lovely people, and I treated myself to a little piece of art, a print by a lovely lady called Claire Falconer. And the people I've mentioned, I'll put them in the box below in case you want to check them out. So yeah, it was a wonderful thing to attend. Okay, so this area is where I've got my grand design. So I have built a few walls and plastered them here and there. I've made a new bed over there, but I need to dig these beds out now to get a new curved bed in here. So this is my horseradish. I can dig that up for fire cider and for making condiments. And I've got some raspberries in here that need to be replanted somewhere else. So I just have to find a place to put all this soil until I need it. So I need to put that on my list as well, because I want to get this all finished before winter, even though it's taken a long time. Horseradish beds. Pippi. Okay, so there's a little woodland down here. Again, there's an alder which has just spread everywhere. That needs to be addressed. Come on, let's have a look. So this is the entrance to our little woodland, which has become very overgrown, and this beautiful alder is becoming so tall and spreading that I can't actually get in here down the steps. There's little steps leading down. So this needs to be cut back, which fortunately alder can take a good pruning. So our main job this autumn is to resurrect the polytunnel. This area, as you can see, I've just cut it back the other day because the fuchsia had covered the path, and I've cut down here. I've cut a kind of entranceway through this hedge because it had become so overgrown. And this beautiful mock orange has also gone crazy. It's just, it's the wonder of nature, the abundance, the, what would you call it? The viriditas, the green spirit is just going mad in this garden, which is fantastic to see, but it just means more work. So down there is the polytunnel frame and a ton of work to do. That little garden in there needs to be rescued from docks and overgrowth. So I better put that on my list as well. Come on, dogs. I've already taken out the carrots, and I've already harvested some seeds. So this bed now can be completely gutted, and we'll put in some seaweed and manure and let it build up over winter for next year. Same here. This is the rhubarb bed, but it's been taken over by some wildflowers and borage. So that needs a good root around as well. Just my list is getting longer and longer. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's great. It's good to be busy, and it's good to have work to do in the garden because it keeps you sane, it keeps you healthy, it just keeps you so grateful for everything. And it's like when I went to the festival, it was drink and drug free, and I thought, well, that's a great idea, but maybe it'd be a bit strange without a few drinks. But it actually turned out that we just didn't need it at all because the company of the people was so good. And that's what it's like being in the garden. It's just so good to be out here and to be working in it, that it's a tonic in itself. So that's my little philosophy for the day. I've learned a lot from the weekend, and I'm raring to go out here. So I'm going to leave you now and get on with it. And hopefully by next week, you'll be able to see some radical change. So I'll see you next week. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website danusirishherbgarden.com for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.